Hey, what's going on everybody? So, in today's video, we're going to be talking about the women of the Gilded Age. During the Gilded Age, many new social movements took hold in the United States. Many women abolitionists were disappointed that the 15th Amendment did not extend voting rights to them, remained active in politics, this time focusing on issues important to them, reviving the temperance movement from the Second Great Awakening. Many women joined the Women's Christian Temperance Union, the WCTU, in an attempt to bring morality back to America. Its chief leader was Frances Willard from 1839 to 1898, who had a national and international outreach from her base in Evanston, Illinois. Often, the WCTU women took up the issues of women's suffrage, which had lain dormant since the Seneca Falls Convention, with leaders like Susan B. Anthony. The National American Women's Suffrage Association, the NAWSA, wasn't formed to secure the rights of women to vote. Many young women worked as servants or in shops and factories until marriage, then typically became full-time housewives. However, Black, Irish, and Swedish adult women often worked as servants. In most large northern cities, the Irish Catholic women dominated the market for servants. Heavy industry was a male domain, but in light industries such as textiles and food processing, large numbers of young women were hired. Thousands of young unmarried Irish and French Canadian women worked in the Northeast textile mills. Coming from poor families, these jobs meant upward social mobility, more money, and more social prestige in their community that made them more attractive marriage partners. In Chaos, New York, mill women went on strike in 1882 to gain union recognition. They fought off Swedish strikebreakers to protect the status that they had achieved. After 1860, as the larger cities opened department stores, middle-class women did most of the shopping. Increasingly, they were served by young middle-class women clerks. Typically, most young women quit their jobs when they married. In some ethnic groups, however, married women were encouraged to work, especially among the African Americans and Irish Catholics. When the husband operated a small shop or restaurant, wives and other family members could find employment there. Widows and deserters' wives often operated boarding houses. Career women were few. The teaching profession had once been heavily male, but as schooling expanded, many women took on teaching careers. If they remained unmarried, they could have a prestigious but poorly paid lifetime career in the middle class. At the end of the period, nursing schools opened up new opportunities for women, but medical schools remained nearly all male. Business opportunities were rare, unless it was a matter of widow taking over her late husband's small business. However, the rapid acceptance of sewing machines made housewives more productive and opened up new careers for women running their own small millinery and dressmaking shops. When her husband died, Lydia Moss Bradley, from 1816 to 1908, inherited $500,000. Shrewd investments doubled that sum, and she later became president of his old bank in Peoria, Illinois. She worked from home to handle banking business in an age when philanthropists such as Johns Hopkins, Cornell, Purdue, Vanderbilt, Stafford, Rice, and Duke were perpetuating their names by founding universities. She lifted her aspirations from the original idea of an orphanage to the loftier goal, and in 1897 founded Bradley University in Peoria. Upper-class women of the Gilded Age had been compared to dolls on display dressed in replenished finery. They flaunted their wealth and endeavors to improve their status in society, while poor and middle-class women both envied and mimicked them. Some wealthy Gilded Age women were much more than eye candy, though, and often traded domestic life for social activism and charitable work. They felt a new degree of empowerment and fought for equality, including the right to vote through women's suffrage groups. Some created homes for destitute immigrants, while others pushed a temperance agenda, believing the source of poverty and most family troubles was alcohol. Wealthy women philosophers of the Gilded Age included Louise Whitfield Carnegie, wife of Andrew Carnegie, who created the Carnegie Hall and donated to the Red Cross, the YWCA, and other charities. Abby Aldrich Rockefeller, wife of John D. Rockefeller Jr., who helped create hotels for women and solicited funds to create the New York Museum of Modern Arts. Margaret Olivia Sage, wife of Russell Sage, who, after the death of her miserly husband, gave away $45 million of her $75 million inheritance to support women's causes, educational institutions, and created the Russell Sage Foundation for Social Betterment, which directly helped poor people. Many women during the Gilded Age sought higher education. Others postponed marriage and took jobs such as a typist or telephone switchboard operator. Thanks to a print revolution and the accessibility of newspapers, magazines, and books, women became increasingly knowledgeable, cultured, well-informed, and a political force to be reckoned with. Jane Addams is arguably the best-known philanthropist of the Gilded Age. In 1889, she and Ellen Gates Starr established a secular settlement house in Chicago known as Hull House. The neighborhood was a melting pot of struggling immigrants, and Hull House provided everything from midwife services and basic medical care to kindergarten, daycare, and housing for abused women. It also offered English and citizenship classes. Adams received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1931. Temperance leader Carrie Nation gained notoriety during the Gilded Age for smashing up saloons with a hatchet to bring attention to her sobriety agenda. She was also a strong voice for the suffrage movement. Nations believed that alcohol was the roots of all evil, was partially due to her difficult first marriage to an alcoholic, and her work with women and children displaced or abused by over-imbibing husbands. Convinced God had instructed her to use whatever means necessary to close bars throughout Kansas, she was often beaten, mocked, and jailed, but ultimately helped pave the way for the 18th Amendment, prohibiting the sale of alcohol, and the 19th Amendment, giving women the rights to vote. And the 19th Amendment was passed by Congress June 4th, 1919, and ratified on August 18th, 1920. The 19th Amendment granted women the right to vote. So this was just a little bit of a rundown on the women during the Gilded Age. Just a few of them to mention here. Obviously, these were some big-name women from the Gilded Age. And we will be continuing this in the next video on the religion during the Gilded Age. So if you'll please subscribe, hit the like button to help with the algorithm, leave a comment, and share. And thank you everybody for checking out this video.